Hello and welcome back to PowerWash Simulator. When we last left off, we're going to go clean a drill. But first, I think what I want to do is we do have enough for this. And we do got all of that. Um you you you're gonna need it. That's more than I can spend at the moment. Like, the clothes don't do anything, so, and neither does any of that. It's just, like, pretty. Anyway, yeah, let's go back and clean the drill. The money we spent will get replaced pretty quickly. Uh, Back to that, go to that. Um, Actually, switch. To that. Uh, yeah, I think that should be good. Um, or, what or do we have? Very green. I wonder what it is. This one. No. Yeah, this one. I like this one a lot. Not the cleaner. The grill. The cleaner. Seems to eat through stuff pretty well. And I'm always here for that. I am going to need the metal cleaner though. Because there is, or I'm gonna need something, because there is absolutely a lot of rust. And there we go, our first star. I still have not, despite the fact that I keep saying that I'm going to, looked into any of the lore in the game, and actually, oh, there we go, that's 40%. It might not be, too terrible a thing. First definitive clean object. There we go. Get as much thread as we can. There we go. I think I mentioned that I kind of, I think I mentioned, I did mention, I did this, like, I don't try to record these in batches, and thus, there we go, 60%. There we go. There we go. Get more of the tread in there. to the top of things. So I've been looking up uh, um, I've been looking up options as far as um, the where are my words today? Uh, Capture card. Those are the words I was looking for. So I looked into capture cards, and it looks like Elgato is immediately out of the running for me. As it turns out, Elgato has um, minimum specs that I do not meet. Like, literally, I don't have a processor that can handle it, and I don't have. I think my video card isn't any good for it either, which is really kind of disappointing. But I've been looking into the Aver Media, and I want to sit down and look into some reviews before anything. And like, it's budget wise, it's still not an option right now. Um, I can't afford to spend any money like that. And I don't think I'd feel terribly comfortable asking for that money, given the circumstances. There we go. Uh, let's grab the, Oh, is it just... Oh, okay. Never mind. There we go. And now we... Oh, right. We switch from this to the urban. And then we switch that. But yeah, I don't feel terribly comfortable asking for that kind of money, even if it isn't a terribly large quantity. Because again, like I said, this is a hobby for me. Now if I were doing it more seriously, if I were doing it for financial compensation, then yeah, maybe. But given the circumstances as it is right now, no, I don't feel comfortable doing that. Let's use that. Actually, let's switch back to that. And go with that. I think that might work a little better. But yeah, the Like, the Elgato is just straight up not an option. My setup, I run a Ryzen 5, and I don't know if it's its minimum speccing, but it's, like, hey, you need to be running a Ryzen 7 or better. And before anybody comes and says, oh, you should be using an Intel anyway, I made the decision that I made based on a myriad of reasons, and I will be sticking to it, thank you. And I think part of the issue was a lot of Intel shipping is, for the price, it's actually more expensive to run Intel. Or I think it was more expensive when I built this setup. And I've had this setup for the last, I think it's been about 4 years now. But, and as a result, I stuck with Ryzen because, as it stands, switching from AMD to Intel would mean literally kind of having to rebuild. I know there's compatibility in some of it, but in a lot of the rest of it, there isn't. Specifically, the part where I would straight up have to replace the motherboard. And I don't wanna. Because that would mean basically having to, sort out a lot of the rest of this. And I'm just kind of rambling now. But yeah, no, there will be no, Elgato unless I upgrade. And right now, upgrading is pretty low on my list of priorities. Something that's higher on my list of priorities, though, is getting a new desk. As silly as that sounds. Because, yeah, no, I need a new desk. I need a bigger desk for the current setup that I have. But I also need more room. So that's kind of what's holding that back at the moment. There's not a lot I can do with the room that I'm in at the moment. I'm supposed to be switching off spaces anyway. So all of that will have to wait. Let's get some more of that going. Ooh. going. There we go. There we go. Still have the rear frame. There we go. I think I said before, like, the hitbox on some of this stuff is, like, really weird. And as a result, you kind of miss stuff trying to miss checking stuff. Ripper. That going. There we go. But yeah, as far as things go in the realm of Let's Playing, I don't know. Oh, well, that would. There we go. I think this is the part where I pull out the metal cleaner again. Switch you for you. Switch you. You. There we go. Which. So first of all, go back to the metal cleaner. Go there. Then we go back. And we still have some dirty wheels. Yes. Let's see. this thing. There we go. And this wheel is still dirty. There it is. So all we have to do now is finish this from the looks of it. And then we should be good. Let's see. What else? What else is there? Oh, quite a bit of that left. There we go. Get all of that going. And we can go on to the treehouse. Or, you know, we could have missed a bunch of stuff. Rear shieldings and a wheel drive. Wheel drive, wheel. Oh. That'll bleed and do it. Rear shielding, fuselage shielding, fuselage. I see that one. And this is when we switch back to that and do one of these. There we go. Oh, I missed what that said. That also took way longer than I wanted it to. Yeah, let's start on the treehouse. This is a really big job. Right. Oh. I've heard you're the unofficial top dog of the pressure. Oh, what am I doing? That's not what I want. Messages. Oh, okay. It's just about the um it's just about the temple. on in private property. No visitors. Of course, make sure you're getting the bottomwood signs. Lest they're not actually clean. They just merely appear to be. There we go. We are, of course, going to start down here. I am not stepping foot in the upper areas until we clean the bottom. The top of the stairs is like the closest we're going to get to moving on up to the east side. That deluxe apartment in the sky. Because if you've not seen the Jeffersons, consider it. It's a interesting series for the... pretty good for the time it was created at. It is very much a 70s series, though. So if that's not your cup of tea, I recommend giving it a miss. There is also the companion series, because The Jeffersons is actually a spin-off of a series called All in the Family. With the Bunker family. Mainly the terrible Archie Bunker. His wife is... I think he has a daughter and her husband. It's the guy that plays Archie Bunker, as it turns out, or incidentally enough, the thing that he ended up doing after that is a series called In the Heat of the Night, which I believe started as a movie that Sidney Poitier is in. The series does not have Sidney Poitier in it, unfortunately, which is really sad. But it is a, a cop drama. If that's not really your thing, it's not really my thing, but I also kind of grew up watching it, so more a nostalgia thing than anything else. I grew up watching the weirdest things, honestly. And it's really kind of due to, being raised around my grandparents, for better or for worse. You can take that however you wish. But yeah, All in Family. All in Family, The Jeffersons. I didn't watch a ton of it, but, like, you just kind of get used to a lot of that stuff. I also kind of grew up watching soap operas, and, if you're in the States and you know, were alive during the heyday of, well, I don't want to say the heyday, because soaps have been around for a very long time. I mean, they were literally created to sell product, or rather, have a time slot to sell product. Uh, which is an interesting premise if you think about it. But then again, we did it again in the 80s because that's why He-Man exists. He-Man and She-Ra and series like that all exist as a means of selling toys to kids. Uh, Pretty literally, actually. I think G.I. Joe is also one of those series. Which, would probably explain a lot of the writing. But that's fine. Not everything has to be, like, classic literature. Sometimes a little scenery chewing is nice. There we go. Okay, so we got the stairs. Let's keep going on down here. Love that waterfall. Clean the grime off the tire swing. Clean the inside of the tire swing. The tire for the tire swing, anyway. There we go. Don't forget the bottom. Clean the edging. Actually, as big as it is and as obnoxious as it can kind of be to clean, I actually kind of like the treehouse. Also, it's not the biggest place you're gonna clean, but it's one of the biggest. Church is pretty big too. So this one's definitely going to be multiple videos. There we go. Clean these tires. But it kind of makes me think, but going back to, like, TV shows that I grew up watching, it kind of makes me think of, like, the cartoons that I grew up watching. Like I mentioned before, I have a birth year that starts with a 19. As such, I grew up with a lot of the cartoons that were coming on in the early to mid 90s. Um, And they weren't bad series. Uh, like, I grew up with Batman the Animated Series, which is why I have feelings about who plays the Joker. Because I grew up with Mark Hamill as the Joker. You know, that was... I grew up with... and I don't know the actor's name, but, the 90s X-Men anime... the early 90s X-Men animated series is something I also grew up with. And it's why I can't really do other X-Men cartoons, because it's not the same voice actor for Wolverine, and it's not like the same voice actors for any of the other characters that were recurring, and it kind of pulls me out of it pretty much immediately. I've tried to watch uh, other series and did not get very far. Which is really a shame, because I'm sure they're really good shows. But brains are gonna brain. And they're going to brain in the most peculiar way. So, unfortunately, sometimes you gotta give your brain what it wants. Unfortunately, some of it's not exactly possible. There we go. Um, and I do not remember if you watched Batman the Animated Series, uh, the gentleman whose name, I want to say it's Kevin Conroy, I believe it's Kevin Conroy, who, unfortunately, I believe he died late last year or early this year. Um, because I believe he died a bit after the DC Pride issue went out, which he wrote some of, because he was actually queer. Um, yes, I used the word queer. It is, if you are of the community and do not use the term, that's fine, but I choose to. Um, but he was queer. I actually didn't know that until it was announced that he was writing the issue in the issue. I haven't read it. Um, I am so very out of the loop as far as comics go. Uh, but then again, I'm kind of always out of the loop as far as comics go. That's kind of how I am. I don't keep up with much. A lot of the stuff that I really like, unfortunately, I just do not have the capacity to keep up with in real time. And I would like to understand why my anxiety behaves like this, but I get anxious to the point where I can't catch up, because my brain goes, "You're too far behind. Everyone's going to, it's going to be an issue," and then I don't catch up. Which is, incidentally enough, I stopped watching Critical Role. I'd fallen behind so very far with campaign 2, and then I, like immediately fell behind with campaign 3, and I have not had the opportunity to watch. Which is funny because I watched the first episode because I'd had the next day off, so I got to watch it live. Something I never get to do. There we go. But yeah, no, I never get to do any of that because it's usually I've gone to bed by then, and when I was working, it just genuinely wasn't an option. Uh, so I immediately fell behind, could not catch up. My brain did the thing, and now I will probably never catch up. I probably will never actually watch campaign 3. Um, I watched a good chunk of campaign 2. I didn't watch all of it. I'd fallen off at. I don't remember where I fell off with that one, but I fell off. Um, I never really got a chance to pick back up. And I know, there's no discernible reason why I couldn't just pick it back up and watch it again. Um, but I don't know how likely that is to happen, honestly. Okay. Get this bit right here. Okay. So now we're going to go up the stairs and start cleaning up there. And immediately, I'm going to clean the joists. There we go. And clean right in here. And we're gonna clean. Oh, I think that's just the light, but it looks like it's glowing, and that makes me uncomfortable. I know, I know it's a non-issue, but yeah, that I'm uncomfortable. There we go. Okay, let's start on the railing. I should probably go back out and clean the outside, now that I think about it. Yeah. And then we'll continue on from there. Yeah, I would love to But I also kind of want to start getting into Dimension 20. Unfortunately, Dimension 20 is paywalled, which is fine. Like, I understand the point there. But I am trying to keep my costs down as low as I can. I'm already paying for something I really would rather not be paying for. Um, Thank you, Adobe. You terrible, terrible company. Um, and before anybody goes, oh, you could just cancel it, unfortunately, it would be more expensive at the moment to cancel it than it would be to keep it. Um, because Adobe has this lovely little thing where they kind of lock you into an annual plan. I don't know if they've completely removed the legitimate month-to-month plans, but yeah, they do this lovely thing where you use software because you need it, and I was paying for it because I needed it. Uh, but they like, oh hey, you need this software. That's great. Here, you can pay a month-to-month fee, and it's not terribly expensive, and like you'll be good. But it's not a solidly month-to-month thing, and as such, they hit you with this lovely little thing where, um, if you cancel because you're on an annual plan, you have basically agreed to pay for a year. And if you cancel before that year is up, you have to pay 50% of your remaining balance. If you cancel after, I think, 2 weeks, and right now it's not super expensive, but it's currently more than I can really afford. A one push of it's like, and I know this is gonna sound really silly because it's like that's not a lot of money, but again, I am currently not working. So a lot of things are too much money. Um, but I think at current it's $30, and $30 is not an expense I can afford at the moment. Otherwise, I would get rid of it, and like my expenses would be down to effectively nothing. Uh, but as it stands, I have to wait. Um, I would prefer not to, but you know, not exactly in position to choose. Come on. Are we? Um, you know what? This is the point where we pull out the wood cleaner. Hmm. No, seriously, where is it? Hmm. There we go. That was obnoxious. I think we can get away with much more. Let's clean some of this up. Since we're over here. Yeah, it looks like that's just the color of the things. They're like, weirdly enough, look like they're going to explode, but they're not. I mean, I know that's not even an issue. Like, that's a non-issue, but might not actually be a terrible idea to just clean this. There we go. Clean that. Clean that. Uh, clean the underside. Clean all the sides. Um, actually, I cut, and I think, yeah, actually, I'm going to call it good for there. So I have been Dorknut. This has been PowerWash Simulator, and when we come back, we are going to continue cleaning the treehouse. And if you enjoyed this video, or any of the videos in the series, or any of the videos that I've done at all, consider leaving a like on this video, consider subscribing to the channel, which helps with metrics, and consider hitting the notification bell so you can know when I upload, even if it's really regular. I also have a coffee. You can find me at coffee.com/dorkanaut. That is ko-fi.com/dorkanaut. And feel free to leave me a tip if you're so inclined, but please don't feel obligated. But, yeah. Come see me again sometime, won't you? Goodbye.